The question is, what are visual receptors doing in the center of our brain? Because there's nothing you can see. Well, this is where we imagine, this is where we dream, this is where we visualize. Those kind of concepts are using the pineal gland in kind of a passive way. We don't know that we're using it, we don't try to find out how to visualize, we just visualize. We don't know how to dream, we just go to sleep and we dream.
My name is Orion. My story begins with the study of energy healing and martial arts. In 2003, I healed myself from a debilitating brain disorder, and I realized I could heal others too. You could say I had an epiphany about states of being. Years ago, I started my practice in Toronto. Now it is time to share with you. Welcome to my channel.
So the first track I want to talk about is called the Pineal Activation. I'll explain how to use it. So the pineal gland is an organ in our brain, and we know it's surrounded by a shield of blood that protects it electromagnetically. Within the pineal gland, which looks like a little pine cone, there are rods and cones, which are the receptors in our eyes, but we're using them in the center of our brain. So this is visual receptors in the center of our brain. So the question is, what are visual receptors doing in the center of our brain? Because there's nothing you can see. Well, this is where we imagine, this is where we dream, this is where we visualize. Those kind of concepts are using the pineal gland in kind of a passive way. We don't know that we're using it, we don't try to find out how to visualize, we just visualize. We don't know how to dream, we just go to sleep and we dream. We use this organ in a passive way for the most part. When I work with psychics, or when I train psychics, or medical intuitives, or remote viewers, the thing they're activating most often is this pineal gland. And the pineal gland sits anatomically in the center of our brain. When we activate it and we put ourselves in a very relaxed state, and that's really important, to put ourselves in a relaxed state, almost that state between wakefulness and sleep, is this frequency of activation. Now, when you get really good practice at it, you can close your eyes for a few seconds and just turn it on. That does take practice. For the most part, people have to sort of lay down, close their eyes, or be in a dark place, and focus on being in that center and activating that light. And when you activate that light of consciousness, you open up yourself to access to information, visualized information. So if I'm doing a medical intuitive reading for someone in Australia, for instance, I'm saying that because it happened the other day, I go into this relaxed state, I focus myself as the being I am, not the person I am, and as I do that, I wake up the consciousness of the pineal gland and I perceive them. We chit-chat and I feel like it's like a radio frequency I'm tuning into, and I'm using my pineal gland to tune into their body, tune into their personality, turn into their frequencies, and that tuning is the pineal gland. And I want you to think of it kind of like a radio transmitter that can send and receive information. So how do you activate that? Well, that's the first track on my album, is the Pineal Activation. I highly recommend going there now and either listening to it, stream it, download it, and listen to that first track. And what it's going to do is teach you where it is, how to activate it, and I want you to do that now. Okay, so you should be in a relaxed state now. You should be feeling a little calmer, a little more flowing in your consciousness. So as you're in this state of flow, state of relaxation in the pineal gland, what I want you to do is I want you to feel like you're turning on the light bulb and shining it brightly as wide as you can. Fill the room with that consciousness of that pineal gland. So it's like turning on a very bright light and shine it so you feel the room with your pineal gland. Feel the walls, feel the ceiling, feel the floor. I want you to really feel what it feels like to activate that and perceive. And I just want you to start by perceiving the room around you. Okay? So you can close your eyes, activate your pineal gland, wake up your consciousness, and I want you to feel every part of the room. Maybe there's a chair, maybe there's a desk over there, maybe there's a window over there, and I want you to close your eyes, wake up your pineal gland, and feel your environment right now. As you're feeling your environment, you're going to feel like you're touching the walls, you're touching the ceiling, you're touching the floor. All right? This is the very first way of using the pineal gland in an active way. When you work on a person, you're going to focus on being in that zone, feeling that relaxed state, and it's almost when you feel like you're tuning into their body, you're reading their body with that pineal gland. So you tune it into the frequency of their body. And as you do that, you're going to feel things. You're going to see colors, you're going to see textures at the beginning. You're not going to know quite what you're looking at. It's going to feel like a jumbled mess at the beginning. With practice, you're going to feel that there's layers of a person, whether it's a skin layer or electromagnetic frequency, or maybe it's their emotional body, or maybe it's their innate wisdom. All those things are going to feel like layers on or around the body. So start off by perceiving the room, and when you get more practice, you go on perceiving a person. Preferably if you know where that person is. But you can also wake up your conscious and find them in the world. It really doesn't matter. When you get good, you can actually find missing people using your pineal gland. And we call that remote viewing, finding a person or a place. Or we get coordinates on a map and we can find out what's there and look around and use that pineal gland to sense the environment. Okay, I want you to go to the next track. Heart activation is the ability to access your heart as something other than passive. Using our heart passively is trying to figure out what we feel about something. I love that person, I feel something for them, or I'm angry and I'm feeling something. We use our feeling of our heart based a lot on our emotions, okay? That's not wrong, but you can do a whole lot more to it. It's a huge tool, the heart. It's one of my favorite tools I work with the healing work I do, because the heart can also heal, forgive, let go, love. It can do some amazing things beyond just having emotions, beyond just having feelings. It can activate things, it can do things, it can propel things, it can create synchronicity, it can create creativity. The heart is really, really important to be using in an active way. So I want you to go and now listen to the heart activation, and we'll come back after that. Okay, hey, welcome back. Heart activation. You should feel a little flowy. So the pineal gland makes you feel like you're a smooth river, like smooth water on a flowing river. The heart usually is more powerful. It feels more like big waves of energy. It's more intense, the heart energy, than the pineal gland. So as you're feeling that sense of your heart, I want you to focus on drawing energy from the ethers into the heart and pushing the energy out. I want you to feel a sense of flow, where you're drawing energy in, resonating, and the energy flowing back out. And I want you to do the same thing we did with the pineal gland. I want you to use your heart, and I want you to feel the room you're in. And if you're outside, feel the trees, feel the air, feel the breeze, feel the birds, the sound of the birds and people around you. It doesn't matter your location, but I want you to use your heart, and I want you to reach out with it and expand it to fill the room you're in. And then feel like you're drawing that energy in, back into your heart, and I want you to feel that sense of flow from the heart. Okay, you're going to feel that sense of energy powering up the heart and expansion of the heart. So I want you to try that now. Just sit quietly and really feel that sense of flow in and out from the heart. Now, the thing that's a little different about the heart, the pineal gives you information, ideas, visual ideas about things. The heart's a little different. The heart is, when you activate the heart and you're using your heart, I use it for when I'm in situations of meeting people for the first time, or I'm in an uncomfortable room with high and low energy mixed, like a party, for instance, that's maybe a funeral that's even more intense. I use my heart actively by filling myself full of my heart energy, filling the room full of my heart energy. And what I do is I use that energy to interact with people. If I'm shaking someone's hand, I'm shaking their hand. And as I shake their hands, I feel like I'm taking my heart and my hand and I'm reaching into their heart with my hand and shaking their heart. I can feel a lot of information. Is this a good person? Is this a moral person? Is this a kind person? Is this person selfish? Is this person giving? Are they giving to themselves? Are they giving to others? I can feel a lot about a person just by meeting them, using my heart as sort of a sonar, using my heart to activate, to reach into situations and change the energy. So the heart, it has these tools of reading, but it's really reads the emotional things, the feeling of people, the maybe some of the barriers people have in the way of their personality. Let's say I'm dealing with someone with ADHD and they have, let's say, a massive persona that they've created as a protective mechanism. I can use my heart and go through that and go through all that and find the little child or the little girl or the boy that was beat up as a young person, and they decide to create this hard exterior, this big personality as a protective mechanism. My heart can perceive through all that stuff, all the BS, all the persona they've created to the core of the person. And I don't use my pineal gland for that, I use my heart. I pierce through their persona to reach the person behind that. And when I talk to them, I skip all this persona and I go directly to the person that they are, but beyond that. So I use my heart effectively in that capacity. I want you to click to the next video, which is Kundalini activation. Kundalini activation is a sense of grounding. It's a sense of energy in the body. It specifically works with spinal energy. When it's utilized and activated in ancient times, they used Kundalini as tantric and sex power in the body. When you take that energy, you rise it up to the pineal gland, it becomes a heightened awareness state. So many times when people would talk about things from the Bible, I'm not a Bible scholar by any stretch of the imagination, but the idea of Moses' staff and the symbol we use now for medicine. Moses holds up his golden staff and everyone sees the staff and they're healed. And the idea behind the golden staff is the idea of activating the Kundalini energy of the spine. The golden staff is our human spine. And when you activate that with consciousness, you raise the frequency and the vibration of your body, your health definitely increases. I use this a lot with people with spinal injury, people with nerve damage, and who also don't hold a lot of presence or respect or love for themselves. They feel kind of timid and shy and they don't sit up straight. Kundalini is that sense of power, that physical power. In the martial art world, a lot of people that were doing martial arts and doing Qigong and Tai Chi were very active in the Kundalini energy. They had a very high Kundalini energy that carried over in their sparring or in their kata forms. And so that's something where I noticed it early on. It's whatever you want to use it for. I don't tell you what to use your Kundalini energy for, but holding that energy, that spinal energy that flows in from the floor, activates in the lower energy center, the dantian, rises up, waking up the consciousness, and then falls into the pineal glands, and then later falls back into the heart. That's the flow of energy of that enlightenment state. Okay? And it feels twitchy. The energy, the Kundalini energy is like this sort of overpowering electromagnetic frequency. That's what it feels like. Some people feel crackling or realignment of the spine when they do this. So if you're feeling strange energies in your spine with this Kundalini, don't worry about that. That's completely natural. I want you to click the next one down below, and that has to do with the immune system activation. And that's working with certain organs in our body. And it's not a complete activation. There are more ways of doing it than one. But this is a general one that everyone can use, which is the idea of the thymus and the spleen, and working these two organs together to create an immune system response to whatever thing is bothering your body, especially during this time where people are worried about diseases and having a strong immune system. Working their thymus and their spleen together and coordinating those together with the ideas of color is a very easy way to visualize this communication between these two organs. So one would be green, one would be pink. And when you have the swirling of those energies, you take that swirling energy and you focus it where you want in your body. And what happens is your body will start up an immune system response. So you can't consciously create an immune system response. However, you can create the situations where those organs are functioning better, then they're more likely to start an immune system response. But I definitely want you to practice this. This is something that takes practice. When I feel run down, I feel like I'm getting that sore throat. Everyone's had that at the end of the day, and they're a little tired, and they're feeling a little ill, and they're feeling a little sleepy. I just take 5 minutes, and I connect them together, and I focus it on my lungs or my nose or wherever I'm feeling a little congestion, or maybe had a couple too many drinks and my liver's a little toxic and I'll just want to flow that into my liver to detoxify my liver. I can use these organs, the spleen and the thymus, together and really focus on where I need to go. This is also really great for bone healing and any kind of thing where you need a strong healing presence in the body. So that's why I really like this system. I use this a lot with clients who are dealing with debilitating diseases, especially things like cancer, especially things like autoimmune disorders, where they need to rebalance these organs. Okay, I want you to click the last one. And the last one's called soul activation. Soul activation is the idea of getting in touch with our body, getting into that holistic feeling of the body and stretching our awareness beyond our physical body to where the soul begins. As I understand it, our souls sort of dance around our bodies. They're not directly in our bodies. The soul to be fully in the body is pretty intense. So it almost feels like it's kind of out there in the sort of ethers around us. So the idea here is to stretch our awareness, to vibrate ourselves high enough, stretch our awareness out to about a foot where the soul begins. And as we do, we stretch that awareness to where the soul begins. We activate that relationship with the soul and we draw that soul in for a time. And it's kind of like holding onto water in your hands. It will fall out. It'll come in for a while and then it'll dissipate back out. It's very intense. So you draw in and then you hold it and you let it draw out. And as time goes on, you'll unconsciously draw more of that soul energy in the body. And as you do, that soul is you from a different perspective. It has knowledge, it has abilities, it has past life information. It's been a lot of different kinds of people in different situations before. So by trusting and drawing more of that energy as you into your body, you can do things with it. So I really recommend all of these 5 tracks to practice. These are tools to develop your spiritual abilities, to maintain your health, and to explore the possibilities, especially when you draw into the soul, because it's like the ultimate Google or the ultimate Yahoo. I'm that old. Back in Yahoo days. You can find aspects of yourself within that field that are not necessarily relevant right now in this body. So you can find a life where you're a singer or a dancer or a musician or a scientist or a mathematician. So when you go into the soul, you want to mine it for the information. You want to draw in the ideas and the memories and the knowledge and mine the soul for information and really spend time in that communication with the soul. And as you do it, you're going to wake up one day and realize you can do things. You've got certain abilities, you have certain curiosities, and you have to trust that those curiosities and those abilities will lead you somewhere to uncover more about yourself. So that's absolutely one of my favorite things to do. But it starts off with the pineal gland. You have to activate the pineal gland. You have to activate the heart. You have to activate the Kundalini. You have to get your body in balance. Okay, there's a lot of different aspects to this. But my favorite one at the end of a session, if I have time, I get people to go out to their soul and draw that soul into their body to really bring that high energy into the body and high creativity. And this is amazing for writer's block or people that have creative block and they just don't know what to do. Just drawing out from the soul and just flowing it into the body is really powerful. So anyways, this is Orion. Welcome back to my site. Welcome back to my channel. Please hit the subscribe button below and click a like, and that helps me out and brings more of my information back to you. Anyways, take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye.